Hi, Caleb with Brownells here. Today we're going to be taking a look at two great wheel gun calibers, the 357 Magnum and the 327 Federal Magnum. Now there's tons of videos on YouTube already that go into excruciating detail on both of them, so we're going to go ahead and keep it simple and do a quick comparison for you. Let's get started. So the 357 Magnum, that's been around quite some time, since about the mid-30s, and then your 327 Federal Magnum is pretty new. It's been around since about 2008. So one of the newer Magnum cartridges out there offered, whereas the 357 Magnum is actually one of the oldest. So let's go ahead and get the obvious out the way. Obviously the 357 Magnum is a larger diameter and it is a bit longer. Now with that being said, it is going to have higher velocities and higher energy in most loadings, but also it's going to have a lot more recoil, and it's not going to have the same capacity that the 327. In most wheel gun offerings, the 327 actually gets you an extra round in that cylinder, and ballistically it's well within that terminal ballistic range to be usable for self-defense. So that's why honestly it's one of my personal favorites as far as self-defense wheel gun rounds go. Now with that being said, again, what the 327 brings to the table is a lot less recoil, about roughly 40% over the 357 whenever you get into your lighter 357 loads versus your higher end or maximum pressure 327 loads. It's still going to be significant. So the 327 is an excellent round for your shorter, even your snub-nose self-defense guns, your wheel guns. So the 327 actually has less recoil, and that's even whenever you get into your higher pressure loads in the 327 versus your lower pressure loads in the 357. So no matter how you cut it, the 327 pretty much always has less recoil, which is great. And also another great benefit of it is that you can get another round in the cylinder. So a lot of your wheel gun offerings in the 327 are actually a +1 compared to that same offering in the 357 Magnum, which is excellent. So your 357 Magnum out of a 4-inch barrel is running, just under 1300 foot per second, and a 327 with a 115 grain projectile out of the same barrel length isn't moving that much slower. It's depending on what loading you go with, is only about never really less than 100 foot per second slower. So they're very close in velocity. So what that translates to is also going to be very close in actual muzzle energy. So as I mentioned before, 327 terminal ballistics, excellent cartridge, and there's some excellent self-defense offerings. So in 357 we know that there's a huge range of different projectiles and loadings out there available for that cartridge. 327, not so much, but there is some great offerings like the Spear Gold Dots, excellent personal defense round, whether that be a snub nose or 4 to 6 inch barrel, whatever you're going to go with, still a great option. Another great thing about the 327 Federal is that if you have a wheel gun loaded in that caliber, or chambered in that caliber, then you can shoot 32 ACP, 32 Smith Wesson, 32 Smith Wesson Long, and then of course 32 H&R Magnum. Now all of those will fit into a firearm chambered in that, and another great thing about it is that the 32 H&R Magnum still a viable self-defense round, as well as the 32 Long and 32 Smith & Wesson. Those are great plinking rounds. They recoil about the same as the 22, and all of those recoil less than the 327 Federal Magnum, which is excellent. Now I know you 357 Magnum guys out there are sitting there shaking your fist at me right now. That's okay. Of course, if you have any comments, or if you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave us a comment down below, or give us a call on the tech line. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.